On my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Reckless Rated Arrow, and we are back at it again for another episode of Future Financial Strategies. Hope you guys are tapped in. Hope you've hit the like button on your way in the door. Hope you guys are subscribed. If you're not, I want to welcome you to the Wolf Pack and give you the opportunity to join a group of people that are going in maybe in the same direction that you're going. I mean, at minimum, we agree on the finances. We agree on getting to the bag. We agree on doing what it takes to put ourselves in better positions to not have to make decisions out of desperation. So hit that subscribe button. For those of you who are already subscribed, for those of you who tap in with me regularly, definitely make sure to share the video. Got to get this video out into the ethosphere. You know, we're keeping it focused on the bag talk over here. Let's get these videos out so we can reach and help as many people with their situations as possible, because I'm not claiming that my situation is your situation. But what I am doing is testing these strategies with my finances and reporting back my results. So maybe some of you can chew the meat, spit out the bone. Some of this might work and be applicable in your situation. So let's jump into it. It's crypto portfolio updates. Happy hump day. It is hump day. You'll be getting this. The title of this video is going to coincide with what's probably going to be going on. We have had an election. We're gonna get through the stuff, and then we're gonna go give you my synopsis on what I think, because I personally think that when this video airs for the general population, we're not gonna know who president is. That's my honest thought. I think it's going to be a drug out process. I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be very nasty. But one of the things that I can rest assured of, and believe you me, when it comes to the financial situation, I'm not worried at all. I win either way. Do I have a preference? Absolutely. Beyond that preference, have I casted my vote? Absolutely. Most definitely did my civic duty. I voted on the 19th as soon as the polls opened, early, because I don't like waiting in lines. But while I did cast my vote, I did not join a team. I'm not emotionally attached to how this works out. I casted my vote for what I thought would be best for me, my family, my community. Beyond that, my finances are set up. Wealthy people don't not get wealthy because of who's president. If you haven't noticed, regardless of what team we get in office, the rich keep getting richer. And I'm on that trajectory. So I'm tied my ship to the big ships. I'm not worried about what happens as a result beyond the societal implications and maybe the safety implications. But from the money, the financial space, I mean, under this administration, we have politicians that they have portfolios set up following. So people are still getting rich. Assets are still moving around. People are still acquiring assets. The hedge funds are still doing what they do. I am not concerned from that aspect whatsoever. So get out there. You will have cast your vote. I hope you guys all casted your votes so that we can all debate and complain on equal footing as American voters. We've done our part. We did our part. Like that's all you can do is your part. And we have done that. So moving on, we're going to jump right on into it. Let me get this screen up. Let me get me off the screen so you can hear me and see what I'm doing. Shout outs to CoinGecko. We're going to jump into it as of this recording on Monday, November 4th, day before the election day of our Lord. We have Bitcoin dominance at 56.8%. Ethereum dominance. ETH dominance is down to 12.2%. And gas fees on Ethereum are super low at 4.52 Gwei. Definitely a good time to put some trades in on Ethereum because the fees are low. I've been making some buys on some coins that I'm looking at over there, and I'm getting ready to add some more Ethereum coins to my fill up the bag list, because I have a feeling that if this leans one way as opposed to the other, we're going to have some buying. We're going to have another good buying segment where it might be time to fill up the boat. load the ships, set sail as far as the crypto is concerned. And if that happens, I will be turning that tap back on immediately. So first and foremost, we're going to give a shout out to CoinGecko for being over here. Then we're going to have a look at the top 3 trending coins. At number 1, we have MAGA. At number 2, we have Peanut the Squirrel. Rest in peace, Peanut the Squirrel. The internet is relentless. The crypto space is relentless. But you know what? Shout outs to Peanut the Squirrel, man. He was just trying to live his life. Last but not least, we have Grass. Now we're jumping over into another fun part of the beginning of the show, where we go over the top 5 gainers and losers in the last 24 hours. Starting off with the gainers, I hope everybody's on this list. I hope you guys are getting some wins. Pretty soon, I got a feeling that throughout the course of this bull run, we're all going to get a turn to ride on the gainers list. That's all I'm saying. At number 1, we have at rank 696, Troy, Troy, with a gain of 67.9% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, we have at rank 937, AI16Z, AI16Z, with a gain of 46.6% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, we have at rank 960, JHH, with a gain of 41.7% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 837, STFX, with a gain of 34.3% in the last 24 hours. And last but not least, at rank 991, President.exe, AIMAGA, with a gain of 27.3% in the last 24 hours. Moving on to the losers list, this looks like it's a very sideways list for a bull run. The gainers list was also very sideways as well. Sideways momentum. We've got a lot of uncertainty in the markets. We're waiting for tomorrow to be over. I understand. I can relate. I feel you. And number 1, I hope you guys aren't on this list. Even when the market's moving sideways, I don't want anyone to show up on the top gainers list or on the top losers list. I want everyone on the top gainers list. That's where I want you guys living. And number 1 at rank 475, we have Luna by Virtuals, LUNA, with a loss of 21.8% in the last 24 hours. And number 2, we have at rank 874, Baby Boom Token, BBT, with a loss of 20.5% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, we have at rank 990, Comedian, BAN, with a loss of 18.4% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 333, PIP, with a loss of 17.8% in the last 24 hours. And last but not least, at number 5, we have at rank 702, MSTR 2100, MSTR, with a loss of 15.7% in the last 24 hours. Now, before we jump over into the portfolio, I got to tell you guys what's going on over here. We are down back over 10%. We are down 12.3% total, with a day change of a negative 1.5%. Those things are not fun. It happens sometimes. This is when you buy. Let's jump on in and have a conversation about it. We're going to go ahead and jump into the top 10. As always, we are discounting the USDC position. Still need to do an audit so that I can get that removed because that's no longer number 2. I know it's not. And then Lido staked Ether is the position that we are holding and converting everything into this year. We're trying to get 32 Ether in the Lido staked Ether position, but that doesn't do you guys any good. Those of you watching can see it. But as far as what's in the active portfolio this year, that's not going to Not going to help you any. So let's jump on in here and get to the nitty gritty. At number 1, we have Solana, SOL. At number 2, we have Ethereum, ETH. At number 3, we have Injective, INJ. At number 4, we have Radium, RAY. At number 5, we have Superverse, SUPER. At number 6, we have Jupiter Perpetual Liquidity Provider Token. That's a mouthful, JLP. At number 7, we have Camelot Token, GRAIL. At number 8, we have Wrapped Bitcoin, WBTC. At number 9, we have Immutable X, or Immutable, IMX. And last but not least, at number 10, we have Thorchain Wallet DEX, TGT. Now, moves that we've been making, obviously, we are buying these dips. So we have a few tokens that have dropped out of the metrics with which are our minimums. We're trying to keep $1,000 in each of these positions. Immutable X keeps dipping, and I keep buying because I'm going to buy that dip down. I'm just going to. It's just too easy of a token to throw money in. So that's the last purchase that we made. Now, looking at this, though, Thorwallet DEX is also on the list to add to the position because I would like to have some that I'm willing to part ways with during the bull run, because the upside potential on this, in my opinion, from the research that I've done for my portfolio, myself, not financial advice, this is a good buy for me, and I use the ecosystem. So having a bunch of Thorwallet DEX tokens really is a good move for me in general. But that position is seated to where it needs to be. So like when Akash Network, which looking at the way this list is sitting out right now, is probably below my $1,000 metric. So is Celestia, most likely. I've got 3 coins here that I need to get back up to where they need to be. And I have every intention of doing that should I have the opportunity during this dip. We have a bare minimum amount going into all of our positions right now because we're currently working on eliminating some debt, because that also is part of my financial strategy. And I honestly, before the surgery and before the car head gasket, was looking at having the debt eliminated before going into this year, so I was unencumbered and free to do what I needed to do moving forward throughout the year. But life happens. So now we're going to be incrementally buying into these positions, which I am totally fine with. Like, we might actually throw a little bit extra just so that way we can make the moves I want to make and, you know, at least get some buys in, because we're going into this week. I mean, it really depends on what happens with the end of the election. Another position that we're looking at is Thorchain Rune. I do want to get that position seated. We're also probably going to be adding a singular token onto my list of buy/second wave options for what we're going to do as we roll these profits. Once the bull run actually starts, I'm going to start cleaning up my stuff, like the stuff that I haven't bought that I'm not going to touch. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it, get it out of here. The stuff that I do want to have deeper positions in, we're probably going to start making moves on that. Actually, I have 2 coins that will be added to this list. There'll be 2. There's a few that are coming off that I'm not going to mess with, but I got 2 for sure that are coming in to this list that I'm going to be making plays on for the bull run. That'll be second tier, or if I get all my positions where they need to be, I'll start buying into those positions as we go into the bull run. Now, moving on to the topic for the show, overarching topic. Political uncertainty versus Bitcoin. Let's talk about it. So what I'm going to pull up is I want to pull up this Forbes article that is talking about here are what analysts expect Bitcoin prices will, where analysts expect Bitcoin prices will head under Harris and Trump. We're going to just do the key facts. I will link the article in the resources below on the description of the video. There's like a little section. It's up towards the top, where if you want to go through and check this article for yourself and do your own research, which I highly recommend. These are just things that I want to bring to your attention. Where you can go hit the article. If I give somebody a shout out or talk trash about somebody, they'll normally be tagged down in there too, so that you can go take a look at the goofy stuff they said or the thing that I gave them a compliment for. Check out their channels. Key fact number 1, Bernstein analysts led by Gautam. We're just going to say Gautam C because I can't pronounce that word. And for those of you listening and not watching, it is a very hard word. I'm going to spell it for you. If you know how to pronounce it, let me know down in the comments. It is Chhugani. I don't know how to say that. And I don't want to butcher somebody's last name. I probably butchered the first name. But we're going to at least give it a college effort for the first name because like that looks like it can be sounded out. Hooked on Phonics did work for me. But I'm not even taking a shot at that last name. It just doesn't even make sense to me. So obviously not in my native tongue, but like this guy obviously knows what he's talking about. Forbes is featuring him. He's got opinions and we're going to read them. He wrote on Monday that the election will have a short-term impact on crypto sentiment and on the price of the dominant cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, which sits at 68,000, down from last week's 7-month high of more than 73,000. Now, as we're looking at this, I agree. We definitely have two polar, I wouldn't even say polar opposite views. I'd say there's one view that's been clearly stated and then one that's been flip-flopped on. So even though it's semi-positive, I guess, the question is it believable? Like that, I mean, that's really what it boils down to, because somebody who'll say anything to win and will, you know, at first has been a part of and the one of the key figures in one of the most anti-crypto administrations we've had so far. To hear them say that, oh, we're gonna protect crypto too, after not showing up for the crypto people for Harris, didn't even show up for that Zoom call. Showed up for all the other ones, all the other segregated Zoom calls she showed up for, but she didn't even show up for the Crypto Bros Zoom call. So they sent a representative. Like they just don't. I don't get the sentiment that they take this this space seriously. Does that affect my decision to continue to be in the market should Vice President Harris win? No. I mean, honestly, while in the short term, I'm 100% certain that if she wins, there's going to be a jarring response from the crypto community. A bunch of people are going to cut bait. They're going to move into other assets, which is great for me because I'm just going to buy up all those Bitcoin and get in my positions for the bull run. And I'm going to keep it rocking the way that I have, because one of the perks of having a little bit of wealth to your name is you don't have to stay here, which is great because like I can go exist in any other ecosystem. But one of the reasons I'm in crypto is because if we end up under a harsh administration that wants to tax unrealized gains or go after people that they feel should pay more taxes, those people just won't exist within this ecosystem. Like I don't think people understand that. Like they act like there's nowhere else on the planet that's safe. And I mean, when it comes to the point of like people literally coming after your wealth, it's like you can't even have the freedoms argument, because it's like, are we free? Like if the government can just decide like, yo, we're going to spend all this money, we don't care what you think about it, and we're going to come after your wealth, you're not even free in that ecosystem. And I know for a fact that there are places that you can go that the government just isn't going to just turn around and immediately start just taking your wealth and extracting it from you to just give to whoever that they see fit. So I think that, do I think that that's a worst case scenario? I mean, yeah, it is. But do I think that it'll happen? I don't know, because those politicians themselves own assets. And like everybody talks a good game until it becomes their money. There's influencers out here that are online right now that talk about how all these companies that are buying Bitcoin, shout out to you, Modern Investor. Giving you a shout out. And I'll tag him down in the video because I watch his videos. I like his content. I listen to it every morning, but he's just so has this ideal that it's the billionaires got to go do it because I don't have $1 billion. But the way that he presents online and the way that he talks about his situation, he is also of the 1%. But it's not his responsibility to go make sure all the third world countries have Bitcoin. It's some other guy's responsibility. It's always the next guy up the chain. So when the politicians talk about, oh, we're going to tax unrealized gains, and those same politicians within that camp are making millions of dollars with what allegedly looks like it could be insider trading, because they know stuff that's going on before it goes on, and like their portfolios are making moves. And then it just so happens that like the move that they made was beneficial for the person in the portfolio. And like somehow it just magically, they hit all these great buys and sells. And I don't think that those people are going to want to pay unrealized capital gains. So it has to be like the next leg up. So for me personally, as an aspiring wealthy person who is currently a brokey, I'm not 100% worried about that in regards to me personally, but would I want to exist in a system where that's the way they go about things when the people that they're taxing already pay over 50% of all the taxes collectively? No, I don't want to be a part of that system long term, especially if my aspiration is to be wealthy myself. Like, no, like I don't want to be a part of that system. I don't, especially when we're not seeing the benefits in this country. I would add that. Like, and I mean, that's as far down that road that I'm going to go, because there's a way that you go about doing things, and right is right and wrong is wrong. And like the way that this is spun, a bunch of people are spun a narrative where they don't understand how things work or who's actually paying for what. And it's always the next richest guy, where you have rich guys saying that they're on your team. Like, I make under 6 figures a year. Literally. I make average people money. But you have these guys online that'll sit there that are wealthy. You are legitimately rich by any metric. You are in a better position than most of the people who watch your channel. And it's the next guy up in the rung, and not you who's responsible for all the people that are impoverished, but you're posting videos of you traveling and apparently doing business because you own property all over the place. It doesn't make sense to me. And then you'll sit there on your videos and say that you're one of us. You're not. You might have been, but there's hierarchies for a reason. And pretending like you're one of the good rich people by spouting rhetoric when you live in a country that has draconian laws. Y'all didn't get to go outside for 2 years. Basically, you have no rights. You have a government that is like laughable with what's going on in Canada, that's actively shutting down people's money. But like, I understand, because they also fund influencers to talk trash about other systems when your system is the most corrupt, but you can't even speak about the injustices that go on in your own country because they'll freeze your bank accounts. Let's talk about the truckers. And they will have your channel pulled. Let's talk about it. Also, same system that paid influencers to put out bad PR about Bitcoin. And then when the industry and all of us did the research and found it out, defunded those channels and had them taken down. So, I mean, it is what it is, but it's always the next guy's up fault. And it's always the next guy's up responsibility. And there's no personal agency or accountability. Somebody has to come clean the mess up for you. Like, you can tell when somebody's never been punched in the face or had to handle some stuff out back after school. It is what it is. And that's fine. They have systems like that. And like, you know, I think that people should be able to exist in the systems that they see fit. And if you want to go save the world, don't yell about somebody else going to do it. Do it yourself, especially if you're in a position that most people won't ever get to. Moving on. Bitcoin can rise to 80 to 90,000 over the next 2 months if the pro-crypto candidate Trump wins the election. that guy predicted, shattering the prior all-time high of nearly $73,800 set back in March. Now, I think if Trump wins, we are going to see a six-figure Bitcoin before this year ends. If Harris wins, I'm going to have to give up my stance and say that Wall Street Trapper was right. And it wasn't because he knew who was going to make it as president, but I don't know that we'll see a six-figure Bitcoin before in a year if Harris wins. I don't. I don't know that we can do it. If Trump wins, I think the 80 to 90,000 over the next 2 months is short-sighted. I think we will see six figures before the end of this year. I've been an advocate of six figures before the end of this year because barring an economic black swan, which voting in an anti-crypto president that's blatantly has the worst administration for crypto ever so far, would qualify as a economic black swan as far as our industry is concerned, which it'll be in the short term, just like every other economic black swan. But that's also going to put a hamper on the peak of what the bull run's going to look like, unless we get surprised and she follows through with some sort of policy to back up that she was going to protect crypto, because she did say that she was going to do that for black men. So, I mean, it's at least something that we can say, hey, you said that. Granted, she said a lot of things that are double talk. So, but at least there's something that we have on paper that she said, and I'll just be like, yo, I'll be able to complain because I did go cast my vote. And I'll be able to go, hey, I'm a black man and you didn't protect my crypto. And like, now I don't like you for whatever, like, just, you didn't do the thing that you said you were going to do. Cause I'm taking that with a grain of salt. I don't think it's going to be the be all end all for the crypto space, because this isn't an American exclusive thing. It is global, and it wasn't meant to be controlled by the government or approved by the government. The whole premise of it is a vote of non-confidence in the government. And I will be casting multiple votes of non-confidence if she wins. Like, if she wins, I'm ramping up my buying because we're going to get another dip, which takes us to our next point. He also said, and if Vice President Kamala Harris prevails, that guy cautioned Bitcoin could test a floor of $50,000, a level not seen since February, representing a more than 25% decline from Monday's prices. Do I think it's going to be that bad? No, but I hope, because like I said, them votes of non-confidences, I'll be dumping checks. I'll be dumping whole checks. The dividend payout, be dumping it. Paycheck, I'll be dumping it. Like, I'm going to be buying like a whole fool if we drop down to 50. Not only will I be buying like a fool, I'll be placing longs all at 50. All at 50. 50 to 60. If we drop to 50, I'm going to have a whole series of longs, so that I'm going to be collecting checks when we get back up to 60,000. I will be buying and longing till my face is blue. I'll long till I don't got no money left. It's going to be wonderful. It'll be a spectacular event because I'll be posting about it. The crypto portfolio updates will be getting wild because I'm going to be just having long after long after long after long. And we're going to be talking about me dumping half my check into Bitcoin, 25% of my check into Bitcoin. We might be just be floating the debt out for a little bit if we go down to 50, because like all funds will be diverted to loading the boats if we get a dip that's that dramatic. He also noted that potentially looming Bitcoin bearishness is a result of the Biden administration's hawkish stance on regulating the crypto industry. 100%. The thing that people need to understand, especially in regards to Bitcoin, is no matter who we get, let me go ahead and turn my camera back on, remove this. No matter who we get in office, I got my Bitcoin America shirt on here, okay? My orange flag, the orange line. There's a lot of lines. I'm on the orange one. And no matter who we get into office, no matter who, The debasement of the dollar is going to continue in America, and every dollar, every fiat currency in every country. It's going to continue because that's the way they've set the game up. That is good for Bitcoin. I mean, when we drop down to 50, if we drop down to 50, should we drop down to 50? We're still an order of magnitude higher in price than when I came into the market. So, like, I'm still going to be up, even with what I've been buying this year. And all it's going to do is make the portfolios this year look even better because we're going to be buying those averages down. And then 4 years from now, when we're never going to see 50 again, those are going to be genius buys as well. When I started in Bitcoin in 2013, all the buys that I had that year, even the high ones at the peak, genius buys. 4 years ago, when I bought the bull run, bought at the peak, and people kept asking me when we hit, I don't remember what the peak last year was. I think it was like 60 or something. No, it wasn't. Whatever last year's peak was. When I was buying at the peak and people were like, are you still buying Bitcoin? I'm like, yes, I buy every paycheck, like no matter what. Wasn't as standardized as what it is now, but like every paycheck at that point in time, I was still buying. All those buys were good buys. Even at the peak of that bull run 4 years ago, still good buys. It'll be the same this time around. But if it drops down to 50 and we get a black swan event, that means that Bitcoin is going to be cheap. That means all the altcoins are going to just completely bottom out. I will be in these markets like with a shovel, with a plow, buying up everything that I can. The reason I say cast your vote and don't join a team is because no matter who's in office, your buying power is still going to be going down. It's still going to dwindle. Under certain administrations, is it going to dwindle faster? Absolutely. But even under the administration that you want, it's going to dwindle. It's going to continue doing what it does. They're going to borrow money. They're going to print money. They have to. They don't have a choice. So when I say cast your vote and don't join a team, I mean, don't get emotional about it. Don't not talk to people because they don't agree with you or they didn't vote for who you wanted. Like, those things are so dumb because after this is all said and done, we're still Americans. We still live here. These people are still going to be your neighbors, your friends, your family members. If the way that you have to navigate this world is cutting off people who don't implicitly agree or co-sign on everything you do, you might not be fit for it. You just might not. Like, that's not what this country was built on. That's not what we were founded on. That's not who we are. So cast your votes, have your opinions, but don't join the team. Don't disown your family members because they voted for Trump and you didn't like him. Don't be surprised when people who either look like you or don't look like you did vote for Trump. Also, don't be mad that people voted for Kamala. Like, whatever. Like, people have their reasons for voting for who they voted for. And if you're not capable of having the conversation, then just don't have it. Also, don't force people who don't want to have the conversation to have it. Like, if you're not built for the adult table, which means that you can have spirited debate, you can argue points, you can argue things that aren't in motion based on logic and reason, then you don't belong at that table. You don't belong in those conversations. They're not for you. So, like, cast your vote, feel like you did something, go sit back at your kids' table and go about your life. Like, these people, like, the people who are the most emotional about this, and this goes both ways, are the most broke and miserable people that I see. At any point, like, they're always on Facebook, they can't take a joke. Everything's serious for them, and they're constantly struggling. Their money's not right, and they got all the opinions on how everybody else should do everything else, and then they ain't got 2 cents to rub together or any net worth to their name that didn't come from their parents. And normally, they come from good upbringings where they didn't have to grind for nothing. You wanted for nothing. And you still came out and you live in this world where you're so privileged and you're constantly upset and hating existing and a perpetual victim. It's terrible. Don't engage with terrible people who have miserable lives. Let them play out their existence. Their existence is a punishment. There's got to be a reason that these people are this upset constantly and unyieldingly. You wake up every day in hell. There's got to be a reason for this. So don't engage with those people. They're not built for that conversation. If you want to have the conversation with people, because I love having spirited debate. I love challenging opinions. I love having my opinions challenged. Because sometimes I'm wrong, and then I learn things. That's the way that's supposed to work. But I'm not sitting out here disowning family members because they don't agree with me. They just don't listen. I'm like, okay, well, like, your life is a reflection of your values. Like, it's just what it is. Like, I don't have to worry about that. That doesn't make me wake up broker tomorrow. I might have to deal with some stuff that I don't like. I can deal with it for 4 years. Like, it's whatever. Also, I'm moving into a space where I'm going to be out the country a good chunk of the time anyways, because I don't want to be here all the time. Like, I want to go eat food that's not poison. I want to breathe air that's not poison. I want to be able to relax and just relax. Like, the lifestyle that I want does not have me living in the States full time. So, like, this also doesn't have to be my problem necessarily. I will be collecting more passports. I'm decentralizing everything. I decentralize my finances with Bitcoin. I will decentralize the systems that I have to exist in systematically. But what we're not going to do is just engage with people that aren't built to have those conversations, and nor should you. It just makes your life worse. And honestly, the people that want to argue and disown, and I'm not going to talk to my dad anymore, even though he made me and sacrificed everything to get me to where I am, or whatever. My grandpa, like, your grandpa got his opinions because he's old, bro. Like, it's not even surprising. Like, those people want to make other people miserable. And I think that's the reason they carry themselves the way that they do, because they can't be happy. And that's their problem. Like, they've got some, I don't believe in karma, but like, maybe they brought something from a previous existence with them, you know, and they're just mad. And I get it. That's fine. But you're going to be mad by yourself. Like, I don't have to do that. Like, I'm not on that wavelength. I'm not on that time. We're over here to win, and I don't care who you voted for. Like, I put this information out for people that would view me as their enemy or whatever, because I want to compete with you on equal footing. So I'm not going to hide anything that I'm doing from anybody, because we're all in this together anyway. And I want to beat you at both games. I want to be right and be wealthier than you. But I want you to actually be in the game. I want you to have an opportunity. So till next week, people. This has been the Crypto Portfolio Update. Thank you for tuning in to the channel, Future Financial Strategies. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if I'm off base. I might be. I don't know. I kind of went off on a tangent. I was trying not to, but it is what it is. It's appropriate. This is my one slightly political video. We won't have another one for 4 years probably, and it'll be good. I'm excited to just talk about money. Like, I'm so excited, because these conversations, in my opinion, are so played out. Like, everybody gets in their booth, they get the voting done, and then we can see how it washes out, and we'll just see. Because there's no guarantee that Trump's just going to fix everything either. There's no guarantee that Kamala won't fix anything. You don't know. We don't know. Like, she could be Trump on steroids. We don't know. But we'll find out. We'll be able to talk about it. But like, I want to get back to the money. I want to get back to making sure everybody's bank account's right. I want to make sure y'all not stressing. You don't got people calling you. You're not getting crazy letters. I want to get back to winning. Get back to grinding. Get back to focused on doing what we do. And stop having these heated, I don't want to be friends with you because we don't agree conversations. Like, if you don't want to be friends with me, make it because I made you feel stupid because you can't do math right and your finances are jacked up and I called you out on it. Don't like me for that. I don't want to let's have conversations that are productive so you can be mad for about 6 months, and then when you fix your finances, you can come back and be like, you know what, you was right though. You just didn't say it the way I wanted you to. And we can reconcile. Let's do that. Till next week, people. It's your boy Reckless Ray De Niro, and I'm out. Peace.
Money on my mind. Yeah. Focus, got no time for games. Nah. I don't blame it, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.